Plans are in progress for an economic and cultural revival in Roxbury. Part of the strategy is to have a bridge between the neighborhood and Boston's innovation economy, and that's the mission of SkyLab Boston, which tries to expand opportunities for small businesses and entrepreneurs. We'd like to welcome SkyLab's co-founder and engagement manager, Bridgette Wallace. Thank you very much for being with us, Bridgette.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, talk about the name SkyLab and what that means about this community and what you want to do.
Sure. So the name came about from a NASA satellite that fell, and we thought that was just an interesting time in our country's history. But it also came about from us going into the building prior to renovation and standing on, which is now the roof deck.
This is the bowling building.
This is the bowling building. So this is the Brucey Bowling Building, which was prior to the renaming was the Ferdinand Building. Was the old blue furniture building, as it was aptly known back in the heyday. So now we went into the building. We went on the 6th floor, and we just thought of, wow, this is a great opportunity for the community to look inward, to look outward and beyond. And so that beyond is the sky. So the sky's the limit as to what we as a community can do in terms of opportunities.
Well, when people hear about revival, they can also get a little nervous because they're saying, is that something like urban renewal or gentrification, especially for the business community? So how are we going to keep something like that from going too far?
Sure. So I think the focus has to be on building on what already existed, right? And how do we strengthen our assets in Roxbury? And so part of that is really looking at the small businesses that are there, and they've sort of been the economic engine of Roxbury, and how can we come alongside them so that they can scale, they can expand, they can increase their bottom line, their revenue, so that they can hire more people from the community, but also reach a broader audience and a broader market as the community is in transition.
Well, part of what you're doing is you're helping businesses tap into technology to do better. And some people, they might be running a business that's very straightforward. They provide a basic service, they sell basic things.
Sure.
And so why do we need technology?
Well, there isn't a part of our lives at this moment in time that technology doesn't touch, right? So if you have a phone, you're connected to technology, to various social mediums. And so we think it's important that businesses understand the importance of connecting to the different tools and resources that are out there, and just even using social media to expand or broaden their client base, whether they have a product or a service, right? So they can use that or even build an app. So we give the example of, there are a number of barbershops in the area. So maybe you can develop an app, Mr. Barbershop, that tells customers when to arrive for their appointment. That way, you're assisting your customers so that they're not, spending unwarranted or unneeded time sitting in a chair waiting to be serviced, and they can just get a ding on their phone that tells them they're ready to be seated. So it's that sort of innovation that we want people to start thinking about, and it's that way that we want to connect people to innovation, or connect businesses to innovation, so that they can start thinking more open and more broadly about what the asset that it can bring to their business.
Well, when you mention social media, one of the other driving forces is creating community. I think of things that Haley House has been doing for years. That's creating community.
Sure.
I guess we're going to maybe see more of this from other businesses.
Sure, we'll definitely see more of this expanding and growing. And we've just, from the businesses that we've already engaged with, they are really interested in figuring out how they can engage and use social media to help them expand their business or do business better, right? And connect to certainly young people, because a lot of young people are using the technology and what that can afford and offer to do their, go about their daily lives, right? And so that's also a good platform for them to connect to a younger clientele or a younger market.
What about some of the opportunities to open up a business in Roxbury and serve people even from outside the neighborhood, do things that haven't been done before?
Sure. So Roxbury is just in an amazing time, as it's, as people are calling it, sort of the renaissance of Roxbury is now taking shape. And I like to liken it to, if you're familiar with the Lord of the Rings movie, and this eye that's always looking for this ring. Now all eyes are on Roxbury because we have the most buildable lots. We have development that's taking place in every corner of the neighborhood. And so the space is there. The opportunity is there for new businesses to come in. As we've seen, we have Tasty Burger there. We have Dudley Cafe, which is an amazing water hole. We have the expansion of the Haley House, which is Dudley Dough. We have an amazing boutique that's there. So there are a lot of new businesses that are taking interest in Dudley Square, and also they want to meet the needs of the community that they live in, that they serve, so that they're good neighbors and good partners with the community, but they also want to expand as well to outsiders and bring in new people to come in and contribute or partake of, just the rich cultural history of Roxbury, and just to come and enjoy it.
We're talking with Bridgette Wallace from SkyLab Boston. Bridgette, tell me about the boot camp. What do you do with that?
Sure. So our boot camp is called Business Sustainability Boot Camp, and the focus of the boot camp is to partner with existing businesses that are in Roxbury or along the Roxbury corridor as a way to sort of speak to or address gentrification, because not only, as we know, people are affected by gentrification and what they believe that does to a community, but also businesses, right? Because you're now talking about a changing demographic. So we wanted to work with those businesses to allay some of their fears, and saying that there are tools and there are resources out there for you to be sustainable, for you to grow, for you to expand what you're doing, right? And so that you can partake in the development that's taking place in Roxbury.
What about details about the boot camp? If there's anything scheduled in the future, what's the best way to
Sure.
look that up?
So today our boot camp happens every Monday. And it's over a 6-week period. So now we're in our second class, and you can go on our website, which is skylabboston.org, and go directly to our website, and there's a link there that takes you right to our Eventbrite, to our social media accounts. All of that is there for you to register for the boot camp. And as I said, we're offering a session today on what do you bring to work, and also how to achieve sustainable growth.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Bridgette Wallace from SkyLab Boston.